how are you gonna have power on your back with your legs spread? You don't got power for nothing, right? It's just bullshit that they've been convinced. They're trying to convince themselves of their own. They're trying to cope. They're trying to justify their disgusting actions. It's haram, my friend. No woman should want to do that. And I don't believe any woman instinctually wants to do that. I don't think women, before they're programmed by the outside society in a negative connotation, I don't think women actually wake up at the age of 14, 15, meet their first love, lose their virginity and go, I want to go out there and be a hoe. I don't think that's what wants to happen. I don't think that's what happens. They have their heart broken. They watch too much Sex in the City. And
hurt.
And they're hurt and they watch too much shit and they lose it instead of having their heart broken and realizing that sometimes things hurt and you don't want to detriment your entire future for there on out after.
I am a dumb bitch. How can I not be so stupid and keep my husband? I want to keep him happy. And I think all the women listening too, they want to know the secrets to a good relationship.
I'll tell you the secrets.
Yeah, I'm writing them down.
I'll tell you the secrets.
Yeah, put your
Let me tell you the secrets.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. I'm taking notes.
I don't think most women understand what men are looking for in general from life.
Okay.
And it is not just relationships, it's in general from life. I think, and when I say think, I mean I know, that men are biologically designed, we're evolutionarily hardwired to seek status. That's what we want. Men talk about wanting money. You don't want money, you want power. You want power, you want status, you want the fast car, you don't care about the car. You want everyone to know you have the car and they can't have the car. Right. If everyone had a Lambo, you wouldn't want a Lambo. Right? So we want status. So every single thing we do is status driven to some degree.
It's true.
Meaning the female we are with has to add status to our lives in some form. That's why we like beautiful women, right?
Right.
But a beautiful woman who doesn't behave and doesn't obey isn't really much status.
Yep.
So when we're looking for status, we want a beautiful woman who is compliant because it's unique and it's scarcity that provides value. Right. So if you want to keep your man happy, you need to think, how do I make my man look better to the world? How do I make him look better in front of other men? You know what? If I were to just make him 2 coffees and shut the fuck up, he's going to look like the big G and he's going to be in love with me. That's what you have to do.
Life is depressing. I say this to people. I'm depressed. I'm like, well, life's depressing. You're getting older. You're going to die. There's a whole bunch of people with a bunch more money than you. Welcome to the fucking real world. Life's depressing. Are you a bitch? You're going to cry about it? Or you're going to do something about it? Like, life is depressing. Who told us? Tell me where it says in the human handbook that we're supposed to be happy all of the time.
Right.
We're not supposed to be happy. We're supposed to survive. Now, if you're a man, you can survive even if you're miserable. I say this all the time. Give me depression. You wouldn't even notice. This is what pisses them off because they're like, oh, yeah, you wouldn't be able to function. I guarantee I can still drive my Lambo and fuck women. I guarantee you.
Right.
Try it. Because I refuse to be such a baby that I'm going to sit there and go, well, I feel a certain way, so I have to act a certain way. No. One of the number one tenets of masculinity, in fact, it's probably the primary tenet of masculinity, is acting different to how you feel. This 100%. Is the primary tenet of masculinity. Do you think the men on the Titanic felt like dying? No, but they acted a certain way because they were men. The women and the children are afraid and they're going to run. I'm afraid and I'm going to stay here because I'm a man. As a man, you have to control your emotions. So I don't give a shit if you're depressed. There's no excuse to not be an adult and make sensible decisions based on discipline alone. I'm too depressed to train. No, you lack discipline. Because I've felt miserable. Every single person has. I didn't miss a gym session ever. So I don't believe in that crap. I don't believe in it. And I don't believe in it because I know that the true cure to fixing people is to tell them, here's the example I gave when this whole thing blew up. I said, if I moved into a house and I heard squeaks in the night and I don't believe in ghosts, I'm going to attribute it to the wind and go back to sleep. If I move into the same house and hear the same squeaks, but I'm a big believer in ghosts, I'm going to start being scared. I'm going to call an exorcist. I'm going to say it's a ghost. So my point is, the same situation gets worse based primarily on my beliefs. If you don't believe in depression, you can't be depressed.
As men are feminized, then there's a power vacuum which is naturally absorbed by females. So as men become weaker, women become stronger. This is how the world works, right? Things have to balance out.
So it's kind of like it sucks, but it's natural.
Kind of like it sucks, but it's just kind of what it is. It's a result of the culture. The culture has produced an environment in which men are going to be feminized, and that's going to allow females to become more masculine. That's what the culture has produced. That's the scenario we live in. That's the rules of the game. It's the consequence, right? Yeah. There are many countries in the world where we don't have these problems. But we have them here in the West. It's just how it works.
Are true to their biology. No man is a one-woman man.
I truly actually believe that. I believe I think that
obviously, okay, we're humans, right? We exist as biological animals, and then we exist with the degree of societal programming. And I think the femme-centric societies of the West have convinced men that we should have one woman and one woman only. And I can get conspiracy theorist on why that is, but I think a lot of it is down to the fact that they are trying very hard in the Western world to suppress the will of man. They want the Western male to a degree to be suppressed, and not suppressed in a way which empowers him. Because I think there's different degrees of suppression, right? You can be suppressed in a way which will empower you, but you can also be suppressed in a way which will just destroy your will to fight. And I think a lot of that is down to, not down to this, but every single thing they do, every single thing society purports to a degree is not to empower men. And you're more likely to feel powerful as a man if you have 3 wives, or if you have a lot of female who adore you, right? But if you have one chick who doesn't obey you, who you can't divorce without losing the house, who won't even have sex with you and doesn't want to have your kids, and you're stuck with her, it's pretty hard to find warrior spirit. It's hard to act like a king if you don't feel like a king in your own household. And I think that if you were to go to any man in the world and be honest with him and say, look, it's perfectly acceptable for you to have this woman. She's going to be loyal to you. She's going to love you. She's going to stay with you. She's your wife. And you can also have this one, and she's going to be your wife. Same deal. I do not think there's a man alive who would say no to that. I really don't. Why would he? Why would he? Right? I think society tells us we're supposed to only have one. But I understand in Islam you can have 4, I think. But I'm not an expert. You are. But I just think it's natural human nature to enjoy the company of more than one female. Or I think if you're a man of means, you could easily have more than one wife. I think that's perfectly normal, and I think that's been beaten out of the Western male as a suppression mechanism.
Even now, if I look at a rally, to me, it's not the cost of the rally. They say like one wife or whatever. Come on the rally is 10,000 euros for a week. That's fine. I will lose 50,000 euros because I'm not working. I will lose so much money with the things I should have done.
So it costs
60,000.
not
So it's like, now, is it worth it? You know, like if right now, still the way I make my money and the things I do, if I'm not at a computer or if I can't sit on my phone all the time, I lose money all the time. So it makes me angry. So I want to get to a point where this doesn't bother me.
I'm in the same position. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
You sit and you go, how much am I going to lose to do
Yes.
this? Not how much it costs. How much does this cost me in time and other things I could
Many
be
people
doing?
don't get this. They don't understand the problem that you maybe like would earn a lot of money in this time.
Yeah.
Say, why? I don't want to steal your time, but if you can't do this, like, yeah, but 10 people ask me, and if they're like 1 day per people,
Yep.
per person,
Yep.
I lose like 10 days. In
Yep.
10 days, I earn like, I don't know,
Exactly.
a bunch of money.
Exactly right. And this is the thing that people don't consider. And this is, and it makes it hard to make decisions on like purely fun things. But people say to me, oh, why don't you want to go Bali or Maldives, or if you have money, you can go Maldives. I say, I go sit 2 weeks on some fucking island, I come back, I lose how much money? Like, even if it's fun, is it worth that much money? Like, it's not worth the money I will lose. I have work to do. And then I go Maldives and I'm trying to get phone signal, or I'm on my laptop anyway. What the fuck's the point of being there?
Dude, yeah.
You know exactly what I mean.
Exactly,
And everyone's like, oh, you
Same.
can just relax. I'm like, no, I can't relax. I have to fucking work.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
But I'm giving you what the woman would tell me if I try to hit them with
do it.
that. Well, if you are with other women, it's showing me that you're not that much into me.
All right. So then we'll go. Then okay. So let's say if you're in with other women, you're not that into me.
Right. And also they're gonna then throw, well, because we're equal,
Yep.
I won't do that with other men.
Yep.
So it kind of makes what you're doing as wrong.
No, but it's not wrong. And you need to make them understand the difference between the historical context and the new world, new think that's being inflicted on their mind. You know, I do this with nearly every chick I'm with every once in a while. I just remind them that they are absolutely and utterly programmed. Everybody is programmed. Listen, my friend, everybody to some degree is programmed. You and I, the things we're saying to people right now on this podcast is going to change the way some of them think. People are programmed, and you're programmed by your environment. And you have to be very, very careful who you allow to program you. You have to be very, very careful of that. And women aren't. And what happens with females, because males at least are capable of some degree of independent thought. And the reason we're capable of independent thought is because we are born evolutionarily, where biologically we have evolved for war. So we were allowed to disagree with the common thesis of society because we could pull out our sword and defend our beliefs. If you can't defend your belief, you're not going to have any, right? So men can occasionally come up with independent thought, but women, they don't have independent thought because they're not capable of violence. So women are programmed by either the society they exist within, or the man who's fucking them. One of the two is putting ideas in their mind. And I'm telling you now, you have a good woman, it's because she has a good man putting good ideas in her head. You have a stupid woman, it's because she has society putting ideas in her head. But none of these ideas are from herself. They're not original.
What would happen if you didn't have Tristan?
My life would be drastically different. I think that all men, in fact, I'd say the actual plague of Western nations today is that all men lack a natural masculine support network. I don't think it's just about me having my brother. I think it's the fact that most men out here don't have a genuine masculine support network. They don't have men around them that they can not so much confide in, but men hold other men accountable. It's very easy to be brave when every man you talk to is brave. And it's very hard to be brave if none of the men you speak to are brave.
But what would you do if you didn't have Tristan?
Well, then I'd have to get a masculine support network outside of Tristan, which I've already done and created myself. So it does exist. But I don't think it would completely change who I am, but certainly having my brother was important in my formative years, because if somebody didn't like me or something didn't like me, it didn't matter, because me and my brother, we didn't care. We're big, we're hard to kill. It doesn't matter if you like us.
You find an excuse and you do a power grab. This is an excuse for a power grab by governments. They've come along and said, oh, COVID, so we're going to restrict all your freedom. And it's like a negotiation, right? Like if you go to buy a Lamborghini and it's $200,000, really you're happy to pay $190,000, but you go in there and say, I'll give you $150,000. And the idea is that you negotiate hard so that he'll settle on $190,000. So this is what they're going to do. They've come along, they've taken all our freedom away, and then when they give it back, they're going to keep that little bit because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And then because of terrorism, there'll be some other excuse. And then because of this, there'll be some other excuse. And that's how you end up restricted in a world where you can't say and you can't think.
Right. Mm-hmm. A woman is never single. The idea of a woman for like a man going 6 or 7 months without talking to, dating, fucking an ex, messaging some guy, they are constantly either talking to a guy, sleeping with a guy. Even if they're not fucking anyone, they're talking to 5 or 6 guys on Instagram. Yep. Women are never single, which means every single time you get a girl, you're taking her from other guys. She likes you the most, which also means that even if she's with you, when she's around other men, she's still poachable. Would you want your girl being friends with me? No, you wouldn't, because you know what I'm going to do. So this is the first thing. So women are never single. So this is why the idea of her hanging around with a bunch of dudes is not acceptable in the first place. And she's going to come out and go, they're just my friends. You may pretend to think they don't want to sleep with you because you know they do. You may pretend to think that, but they don't view you as a friend.